So for the third video, as promised, we're talking about this book. Now, I hate that when I feel like there was a bunch of things I want to mention, but I forget them. But this is by far my highest recommendation. Not by far, but this is, if I made a list of my highest recommendations, this would make it. This is a really damn good book, and the best part is that you don't really have to have read any Marvel books beforehand to understand what's going on in this one. It's it's a good idea to read like some Fantastic Fours, some Captain Americas, to know the characters, not just be your first whatever of everything Marvel and have not known nothing about the characters. Because it's like a history book of the Marvel, not like that boring Mark Wade history of Marvel Universe, where it's just like Galactus. It was basically like a history book, but in comic book form. And I paid like $10 for it. I'm glad I only paid $10, but I got my money back, which is good. So it wasn't good. I wish I had gotten that first issue, or I gotten like the first two, and then the first one, I'd read, or I got one, because that would have only been $4. I would have got my money back, and it wouldn't have been as bad. But I still got my money back, so I don't know what the hell I'm saying. And the funniest thing is this is Kurt Busiek, and his writing is really good, for the most part. But I didn't like his Astro City as I call it. What was the one he wrote that I didn't like? Oh, it's Avengers Run. But I think that was just maybe just the 2 issues I wrote were his weaker issues. Because I've heard nothing but good on his writing about on his Avengers Run, and it's kind of funny to read this and then to read Astro City, or to read his Avengers Run and then see it's almost like how it's almost completely different person. The one downside, this is very unorganized because I'm going to talk about downsides before I talk about. Usually downsides is like the second to last thing you say. But anyways, whatever. The only downside is that each issue was like over 40 pages. That's a lot for a normal comic book, and it felt like more than 40 pages sometimes. But in the best way possible. It was never got too slow. I never wanted it to end. I was never like, oh my god, just end. It's like it was never like super boring or anything like that. Like with, I don't know why I was just doing this. Like with that Thor book, it never got that bad. Or to Iron Man 2020, that never got close to Iron Man 2020. I'd rather read that Thor book again than Iron Man 2020. That was probably the worst comic I've ever read in a long time. I hope I'm talking loud enough. I should have a microphone, but I don't think I really need one. I just need to talk louder. But I tell loud about subscribe and I wake up the whole neighborhood. And it makes you want to read, like, and that's the best part about it, is it makes you want to read Marvel books without it being an advertisement, like with that Avengers book I had read a while back. It was back to basics, and they would have like, from what I remember, it was basically like Marvel's, but Marvel's done wrong, where it was like it was going through. Yes, that's right, Joe. Ms. Marvel went in the past, and she lived all these original Avengers like stories, and it was basically an advertisement for Marvel Universe Unlimited. Now, to be fair, it apparently was originally a Marvel Unlimited book. I don't know if it was free. It probably was free to subscribers, like one of those like how you get like Netflix originals. It was probably a Marvel Unlimited original. I don't know, but I didn't like that book. I didn't hate it. I just didn't. That was the only thing I really hated about it, was that it was just an advertisement for other books, which it didn't really bother me as much because I like you can make the argument that when a comic, like let's say I got issue 1 of Thor, good example, they said like you had to have read Silver Surfer Black, you had to have read War of the Realms, and then Ghost Rider. I'm pretty sure that Ghost Rider Frank Castle book, all three of which I have, which is good, but it was basically just an advertisement. You could make the argument that that was an advertisement for those books, but it wasn't, because there was story to it, and there was story to that Ms. Marvel book too. But I'm not clamoring to read it again. I would give it I'd give that book like a 3 out of 5. This one I give like a 5 out of 5. Because my complaint is a huge nitpick. Because all I had to do was just take a break, and I did take breaks so I didn't go insane reading a 40-page book. And that sounds like nothing to those of you who probably read who don't notice a difference between a 40-page book and a 20-page book. But for me, I do, and it's for comics. Because comics are usually, 22 pages? Like, this is a regular comic. This is a great example, because it's super, super thin. I bet if I did this enough, you couldn't even see it anymore. You can barely see it. No, wait. You get the idea. Voice cracked. I may just read that Spider-Man one, that one I got today, the reprint one, the True Believer one. That's how good of a book that is that it changed my perspectives on my stupid rule, but I can't read any of the books I got today. I don't know why I'm like that. I get it if I get 2 books and I'm gonna finish them, but I got 20? No, 13. It was 13. And those of you who watch my videos know how much I love that number. I'm very weird about that number. I don't know why I care about that number. But yeah, I guess I can really read all 13 books, 4 of which were bigger books like this, and one which was a huge book for $19.99. I might add. That's Image has it going good with their pricing, because that Firepower book was $10, and yes, Volume 2 is going to be more expensive. Actually, Volume 2 of that Gideon Falls book that I read. No, Gideon. See, it's funny. Whenever I say something wrong, I try to make fun of myself by saying it the wrong way on purpose. I say it the right way. That Gideon Falls book. Gideon Falls book. Gideon Fall books. There you go. I'm sorry I just wasted your time with that. Anyways, that the second volume was $16.99, which is the normal price for a book like this. Another thing I didn't like, but it's worth it, is the price is $24.99. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Newberry. It's the other. There was that Nashua comic book store that I missed that I had gotten this at. Because I definitely didn't get it at the library. The library, obviously not. I don't think I got it on Amazon or anything like that. I don't think I got it for a Christmas or birthday present. I might have, but I don't think I did. But yeah. But I cannot wait to read this now. It somehow feels thicker than before. And it was so weird that this was not on the Kindle. Wow, it looks like it's in better shape now. I didn't get mention this before, but imagine if I had gotten rid of this. Well, not gotten rid of this. Wanted a refund because there was a little crease here. I don't even notice. I don't even notice anything different. I want to read that Gotham Central now. I can read this now. I just might. Oh, and one thing so I'm gonna keep going. Obviously, the artwork. Oh my god, the artwork. Okay, I want to do there's a lot of Oh yeah, this is the best part. I wish I could do this the best way possible, but there's no real good way to do this, so bear with me. It took me a while. It took me a while, I know I said that. But this is the cover to that big Galactus book that I got on digital, because it was I think it was literally... How can I, It was bigger. Well, this is bigger than the eye. For example, I think it was literally bigger than this. Am I doing it? It was bigger than an omnibus. Like, okay, so I gotta show you guys. Damn it! I hate this. When I forget that my iPhone is on a cord, or iPad, or anything is on a cord, I go like, duh. I don't know why I keep doing that. But yeah, there's this, because I'm not doing it justice by showing you, and I don't want to go grab an omnibus and go through all that, just to show you the, I'll show you how big an omnibus is. I hate when you're trying to hit the search bar, and I'll hit, like, I'm gonna show you some of the YouTubers I'm subscribed to while I'm doing this. So I'll hit this, and I'll hit this, and I'll hit this, and I'll hit this, forever and ever. Forever and ever, I know I said it like that. But I'll keep hitting it when I'm trying to hit search. Okay, so it was Galactus, giant sized book. Galactus H, and I always, oh my god, I'm bad at this. Size book. I forget what it was called. Behold Galactus. Yeah, of course it doesn't show it. It doesn't know what I'm talking about. You know, if you do it on Google, they would know. Oh, it's probably Galactus. I did the IS instead of US. I'm sorry that I'm wasting your guys' precious time. You know, you have the skip to 10 thing. I don't know why I'm just being like that. Okay, is this the one? There's one that did it perfectly. He put an omnibus to it. It's not the best way to do it. This one? Yep, this guy. I don't understand why you'd want that either, except for the artwork, which, for Marvels, I would want to get a giant, I want to get a poster book for it, almost. Okay, so, come on. Sometimes I don't say it lags, but it takes forever to do that. That's how big it is. That is insane. I'm gonna wait till I can see that it's not, like, too bright. You know, it's being weird. If I hold this, will it do anything? There we go. That's how big it is. That is insane. Why would you want that? Books are meant to be, I mean, I hate to say it. Okay, now this looks weird. Uh-oh. I got this 8, I got it off. Like, I get that you might want to get a book, like, to see the artwork, whatever, but I don't know. I just consider it to be a waste of money. Am I alone on this? Do you want a huge book just to admire the artwork in and nothing else? And, like, I don't know. I'm more of a reader than a observer. But, there was another good one. It's Alex Ross, so it looks very realistic. The artwork is so damn good. Like, I want Alex Ross to draw my comics if I ever get into comics. Which, yeah, right. Oh my god, I almost just dropped this while I was holding onto the page. This is tight squeeze. I would have flipped my shit. That happened. I definitely recommend you get this. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited, so if you're lucky enough to have that, and you haven't read, if you've read all 5,000, it's literally 5,000 books on Kindle Unlimited. I would never need to go to the comic book store ever again if I wasn't getting weekly comic books. I wasn't tied down to that. By tied down, I mean that they held me hostage. I think I've explained how much I hate that I have to get weekly comics. It's annoying, because I'd rather get more of these books than these books. Because this has more, and this, like, sometimes I'll have, like, $50 to spend, and I can get 2 $25 books. So this is $25, I can get 2 of those, and that's, like, 6 issues worth. This is 5. Let's see a better example. Like, I can't find it. But there's nothing in this book that I hate. The writing is amazing. The artwork is incredible. The pacing is a little bad because, I mean, not bad. Pacing is a little wonky because it's a little. It's not. I don't want to say that. I feel like I'm not like. See that? Look at that artwork. I feel like I'm like making it seem like it's a bad thing when I say that, you know, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Marvel's The Platinum Edition hardcover slipcase. Wow. I just love when they release something like this as a huge book that has like interviews and shit I would never ever want. Like, all I want in a book is the book. But I do want. I just love the hand motions I make sometimes. But I do want this that covers, so I know when the hell to end the book. At least here they said end of book 1, end of book 2, end of book 3, so I knew. The only one I didn't reread was the issue 0, which was just kind of like writing. It was just kind of like explaining about Human Torch. That I would still recommend you read if you haven't read it, obviously, but I just had no inclination to read it the second time. Yeah, this is up next. The only thing, I think I explained this before, but the thing that I kind of hate is that I heard that there's people that got this book for super, super cheap, and I kind of feel like I probably could have. I searched around it a little bit, but I don't think so. I think it's almost out of print. There's only 3 left of these. I think once those go away, Amazon doesn't like to have it under Prime anymore. They'll have it under $3.99 shipping. I'm gonna be getting one of those books. Maybe be getting one of those books soon but my cousin, I keep hiccuping for no reason. I was still on for no reason for hiccuping. It's weird. Maybe I just drank too much. Drank too fast, not too much. It was Gatorade. You saw me drinking. What am I doing? Just like over explaining things. Anyways, so my cousin and I called Banksmith because for the past few years my grandmother goes to Florida for the winter. They fly south like birds. Ha ha ha. Very funny. TBS. Very funny. They won't this year, but we're still most likely doing it on Thanksgiving. The Banksmiths, and we'll get presents from them. And one of the books I want is a Batman book. I already gave part of it away. I didn't say which one it was. It's a huge one. It was one I was gonna get way back when for cheap graphic novels, but I never did end up getting because, like hell, am I waiting 4 days and paying a ass load of shipping. Oh, but my next book is free shipping, so maybe I should invest in cheap graphic novels. I don't get it. Maybe the people who did cheap graphic novels like the Near Mint Condition and Gem Mint, maybe they got their books in shit condition. I don't know. Get it? Near Mint Condition? Someone did actually make that joke, and I still like cringe at that. Like, wow, you need to go like. I think he was just trying to be funny, but he didn't make it obvious that he was joking. It kind of seemed like he was joking, but also not. I'm flipping through this, and they hated that the artwork wasn't as good as Alex Ross. And I'm flipping through this book, and I probably couldn't tell a difference unless I looked. Inner demons. Oh no. But I'm still glad I got this. Even if I hate it, I'm still glad I finally got Marvel's Ruins and the Chuck Dixon one. And yes, like I said so many times before, yes, I could have just gotten Marvel Ruins 1 and 2 on the Kindle and saved a bunch of money. Whatever. There was an Ecstatics book I got recently, and it's going to be about this size. And I still feel like I should have gotten it physically instead of digitally. I don't know why I hate digital so much. I mean, I hate it because of the reasons I gave you, but at the end of the day, like when you save $10 or more, I saved $10, actually $11 on that Ecstatics book. When you save that much of money, like who cares? You still have the book. And the whole, oh, technically they could take it away is a huge load of bullshit. Because there'd be so many people going after Kindle and Amazon that even a big company like them would get canceled. Do you honestly think that they would have the balls to do that? They're so uncaring that they would do that. No, they wouldn't. Maybe there was a glitch, but they wouldn't do it on purpose. And as much criticism good way of putting it. As much criticism as I give Amazon, at the very least, they, first of all, if I get a shitty package and it comes in shitty condition, I'll get a reprint. I'll get a replacement pretty quickly here, and the replacement has never been in worse condition than the original. It's always been in pristine quality, almost like they were like, okay guys, we messed up, we want to not mess up again. Make sure that book you're giving, technically it's my mother's account, make sure this book they're giving to Justin is in perfect condition and doesn't have any creases, any very noticeable creases for a book he paid for new condition on. That's almost like how it is. But anyways, as much criticism as I give them, I think they'd be quick if something like that happened. They got hacked and all your Kindle books went away or something. And if anything, they'd probably give us a free, however many, depending on how many books we got, most likely, or how much we spent on Amazon, how much money we spent on Amazon, would most likely give us a free gift card or free credit, because it's on them. Because I don't think they could. Let's say it's $1 million, not $1 million, each of us, obviously, even they would go under. Let's say it's $1 million spread out for each of us. So someone who gets one book will get like $1 or $2, and someone like me who has a lot of books would probably get like 100, let's say, at the very least, which would be awesome, but not worth getting all my Kindle books taken away and having to re-download them all because there's a lot of books on there. Voice cracked again. So that whole, oh, they can technically take it away. Yeah, it's bullshit. They could, but they wouldn't. That's like me saying, that's like me saying that if I would do fan mail, I'd burn it. I wouldn't. I could do that, but I wouldn't. And I'm talking like the books that you guys gave me. Like if you guys gave me this, burning this, and even the letters, I wouldn't burn. Or if I was gonna send gifts for subscribers at the last minute and I decide not to give them to you, I could do that, but that'd be a huge dick move. I wouldn't do that. So, like Amazon, I wouldn't do that. I don't get why people say that. And if anything, it worries me. But then I realize 2 seconds later, I tell myself 2 seconds later, what the fuck are you worrying about? They wouldn't take it away like that. So, I didn't swear too loud. No one heard. No, everyone's asleep that would care. That hasn't heard me swear. Has he used the F word? Oh no, it's a bad word. If you say it, you'll go to hell. No, it's not what they're like. It's more just like they're kind of like they're borderline Christian family with that shit. Anyways, they don't care if I swear, obviously, but just in front of them, and it could get weird about it. Anyways, so getting back to Marvel, it's got super sidetracked. Get this book. I highly recommend it, especially if it's on sale on Kindle or something like that. I'm actually going to look up how much it is on Amazon. Not cheap graphic novels, mind you. God, I'm going to get so much hate from someone that really likes that store. And they're like, oh, technically, all you have to do is wait. You mean, you could get 2 books, Justin. You're like, yeah, I could. But with Amazon, I get free shipping everything I get. So if I only get 1 book, because I only have enough money for 1 book, I'll get free shipping, and it'll be 2 days, too. There's a 25th anniversary one for $38. Jesus Christ, was $50 for this? Plus some additional junk? Actually, it did come with an annotated edition. There's a remastered edition for $17.59. Let's see Kindle. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. I was right. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, I highly recommend you get it. But how much is it? Wow, $7.99. Jesus. That is super cheap. Get it even if you don't have Kindle Unlimited. Get it for $8. You can spare the $10. That is getting each issue, actually minus the 0th issue, for $2. I don't think it was even $2. No, wait, it would not have been $2. I think it was $3.99 because it was more. It was a lot more pages and it was pristine. It wasn't like this page, this kind of cover. I don't think it was like. It's a good example because I have a book that's just like that. And if you watch my video, you'll know. But like, I think it was like, in irony. See, guy. This is actually what I've heard is going to be his like what he wanted to do, like this kind of paper for the cover at least. And again, this is not apparently this is not a one shot, even though Marvel would have you think differently. Think differently. How you think that wasn't. Okay, so some wow, 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. What time is it right now? 9:38. Nice. And no, 9 plus 3 plus 8 isn't 69. I wasn't making a 69 joke. I was making a, it's good that it's not too late. Oh my god, I wasn't, I thought it was going to be like 10:30 or something. Joke. It wasn't even a joke. Yeah, that's it. Get this book. It is so good. The artwork is amazing. It's just it's a huge love letter to the Marvel Universe. And 100 times better than that awful, boring, stupid, borderline, the worst comic I've read in a long time. Overrated, borderline overrated, not borderline overrated, it's overrated, borderline trash that History of the Marvel Universe was. Now, I'll give you credit. I'll give you guys credit. If you wanted to know the history of the Marvel Universe, you could read this. But it's a more updated version, and it tells you, like, everything, apparently, like, that you need to know. I mean, you can just go on to YouTube and watch a person with talent talk about the Marvel Universe. The artwork was good. I will give it that. From what I remember, the artwork was good. I don't think it was Alex Ross, but even if it was, I still wouldn't have recommended. Regretted. I wouldn't have recommended it, but I wouldn't have regretted. I still would not have regretted returning it. But yeah, that's it. Damn good book. I'm glad I got this companion now. I still cannot believe this. What's funny is that the individual issues are on the Kindle, but not this book. I couldn't tell you why either. And this is not new. This actually came out, struck when it came out. And I love that the place that it came from was called A New Flowers. And no, I did not get a bouquet of flowers with it. 2014, I think. Well, at least when one of the printings came out. Yeah, 2014. They do that weird thing. They tell you when each book came out. Like, it's like 1992, 1994, 1998. I don't think it was 1992, but it's a thick book, too. And the one thing that I'm going to hate is that there are longer issues. So I probably won't read this right away. That's about it. I want to get to 30 minutes. What if it just ends? Just cuts off. It's like, we can't do this, Justin. I'm an iPad that has no storage in me. That's why I was petrified, yeah, a little petrified, but mostly annoyed when I found out the laptop I was going to get. I don't think I explained to you guys, but I got a new laptop finally. And I thought it was 128 gigabytes of storage, but I think it's like RAM or something. I don't even know what I saw, because what I saw was not it. And it was the last one in stock too. You can't get that laptop on Amazon anymore. And it wasn't like temporarily out of stock. It was like, we don't know when this item will ever be back in stock. They wouldn't even give any prices either. It was insane. It was renewed. That was the one thing I hated about it. It was renewed, which means refurbished. Which, yeah, sometimes it's not bad. Like the iPad that my grandmother has is refurbished, and we only had a couple of problems with it. I think it's mainly been that she's just didn't know how to use the iPad. But I remember there was one thing that happened with it that none of us could figure out, and I don't know who figured it out. I think it might have been naturally. Like, it was like, oh, what if I press this? I was like, oh, there you go. I don't know what it was, but it was something that we couldn't figure out. See, this is what I do, guys. I talk about one thing and I go off on a tangent. I like this. I like doing this, though. It's a discussion. I'll probably still call it Marvel's review. Plus more. Ooh, plus more. So I have to watch the video. So, get that book. It's cheap on Kindle. But I'd recommend you get a hard copy so you can really admire the artwork. unless you're watching it, unless you're reading it on your iPad Pro or something like that. And maybe get the Marvel's Companion. I haven't read it yet, so I can't say if it's good or bad or not. But, I mean, if it goes out of stock, it becomes the next... It's like a Clone Saga book of Spider-Man. It's a real Clone Saga, whatever it's called. That, it's like out of print, or it becomes a new... It's a bunch of books that are out of print. That Venom book was out of print. See, that's the thing about some of them. We're at 30 minutes now. Some of these books I can't get physically. I have to get digitally. So, that's when I don't mind it as much. But I mind it when I could have afforded the physical edition, like with that Ecstatics book, and it was 500 pages, so it basically would have been like this. And I like these thicker books, but hey, when I want to take this with me to wherever, it's better to only have one of these and not two. And also, for some reason, I don't mind as much for digital books, so I read them right away. I don't know what makes that different from physical books. That's it.